Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Juan. I'm the OC agent here in Southern California. And a lot of my clients have recently been asking about moving out of state. And one of the states that keeps coming up in these conversations with my clients is Boise, Idaho, or one of the places, Boise, Idaho. So, a lot of these clients have a lot of equity, especially with the market the way it is here in Southern California, and they want to use it to buy in another state. And so today I actually brought a good buddy of mine, Isaac, from Boise, Idaho. He's a real estate agent out there. And wanted to kind of go through some of the things some of the questions that I keep getting from my clients and bring you some information on what you can get in another state like Idaho. And so, Isaac, thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate you taking the time and giving us some information about the market out there. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself, what type of market you work in, how long you've been doing it, that kind of thing?
Yeah, thanks, Juan. Always happy to join my friends in California. As a child, I lived in La Jolla for a few years and have really good memories of that time. But yeah, I've been in real estate since 2007. My wife and I are a team here in the Boise area. We call it the Treasure Valley. That's actually encompasses 9 cities that make up the Boise Metropolitan District. And so between all of that, we have about 650,000 people in the metropolitan area. We're primarily residential agents. We deal with a lot of investment properties, a lot of rentals, a lot of people doing 1031 exchanges, and about 80% of our clients are leaving California, and that's why we have this cool
Wow.
sign behind us. Yeah, it's not even close. So we're very comfortable. We're very used to dealing with logistics of people, having to move their stuff here, helping them with moving companies, and all of the things that are involved with coming from California to Idaho. We're very well versed in that.
Right. Well, we've been talking for a while now about this, and it sounds like you know, kind of built a business around, a lot of these clients that are leaving California. In all of the clients that you've been working with, what are some of the reasons why, they're choosing to leave California for Idaho?
The biggest reasons that we hear are number one, the really high cost of living in California in general. I get people that tell me, my electric bill is $400-500 in the summer because of air conditioning, and I tell them here it's $70 a month, for a family of five, and so the high cost of living. Two is also, a lot of people are getting tired of the politics and the
Mhm.
government and regulations and
Right.
red tape and all that stuff that's involved, and so that's another reason. And then finally, it sounds like it's regional, but some people are just tired of the natural disasters and things like fires in the Northern California,
Right.
earthquakes, and believe it or not, that's actually still an issue. And I've had 2 clients just in the last 6 months that finally got their insurance settlement. Was it the Paradise fires?
Yeah.
It took
Uh,
that long to get their money from the insurance companies, and they've come here to buy a house. And so those are the main reasons. And then of course, there are people that choose to retire, and they never expected to stay in California in retirement for whatever reason. um, and then the last group are people that still work in California remotely now because of the pandemic. Their jobs have been switched to fully remote, so they're now able to live here but keep their salaries and jobs in California. So that's been a big
right.
change because of the pandemic, especially from the Bay Area. We get a
Right.
lot of
We
Silicon Valley.
that's one of the things I think in the pandemic has shown us is that most companies are deciding to keep people remote permanently, right? Because they don't have to have all these offices and people are still productive. And now you can pretty much work from any state in the country and not have to, like here in Southern California, like stay in a smaller house because, prices have gone up here so much. Awesome. So now one of the I guess one of the biggest things that I hear from clients as we're having these conversations about moving out of state and moving to other communities across the country is one of the challenges that they have is like thinking about the weather, thinking about the communities they built here, and like the convenience of being in a bigger city out here. What kind of weather is out there? What can people expect as a transition over to Boise?
So I always tell people from California is the one thing you're not going to get here, unfortunately, is you're not going to have the beach and the ocean. So you got to get past that. Once you get past the beach and the ocean, we have everything else and more that you could possibly want. So, we have 220 days of sunshine in Boise, Idaho. We only get 12 inches of precipitation a year in Boise, Idaho. So when people think of Idaho, a lot of times their misperception is snow and
Hmm.
freeziness. That is true in northern Idaho and eastern Idaho, but Boise is the southwest portion, and we're actually the dry, arid desert climate, very similar to
Interesting.
Nevada. Yeah, so we're not anywhere near those types of environments. So think of like Albuquerque, New Mexico, or Reno, Nevada, and that's kind of the same climate we have here in Boise. So we have four full distinct seasons. It never gets too hot. There's no humidity. It's all dry.
Nice.
You can be outside year round. Children are outside playing. We can ski in about 30 minutes away. We can be skiing in the winter. We also have huge lakes and rivers, so there's lots of water activity, jet skiing and water boating. We have 20 golf courses here in the metropolitan area. Golfing is almost year round here, pretty much, and it never gets really cold in the winter. So you can be outside playing. It's never the type of environment where you have to be inside shivering in front of the fireplace.
Nice.
So
Yeah, I think that's one of the major misconceptions and one of the things that I hear a lot about people who are thinking about moving to Boise is that they think that it's cold all the time, that it's like they're going to New York basically, right? Where
yes.
it's like always snowing or something like that. But that's good to know that you have most of the year it's sunny and most of the year you have great weather.
Yeah,
Now,
right now it's 74 degrees today, Juan. I mean, for us that it's totally sunny, beautiful, wearing shorts for us, it'll get up to the low 90s like in late July, August. But once again, it's not humid, it's dry, so you're not sweating as soon as you walk outside.
so most of the summer you're looking at like 90-ish degrees or something?
High 80s,
Okay.
very low 90s. So it's
Wow.
really
So that's
nice.
like
Yeah.
pretty much similar like summers that to what we have here. It never really
Yep.
gets over, 90 out here either. Great. So now what about, like the local commerce, shopping, like
Mhm.
restaurants, that kind of thing? Is that, a thing out there? Is that like or like you're going to be living in the sticks where you have to drive to most places?
So Boise has grown a lot in the last 20 years. And like I said, we're up to 600,000 people, give or take, in our greater area. So we have all the amenities, all the things that anybody coming from Southern California is used to. We have all the shopping malls and restaurants. We have downtown shopping districts with patio restaurants and bars, an active nightlife district. We have farmers markets every weekend. So yeah, we have everything. In fact, the running joke is that we just finally got approved to have our first In-N-Out burger built here in
What?
Boise. Yeah, it took 10
You're
years
taking
of
everything from California.
yeah. So finally it's going to be built this next summer, I
Nice.
believe. So we're excited about that. But yeah, we have everything else. It's you wouldn't even notice the difference. Once again, the only thing we don't have is the ocean, but when forgetting that, we have all the shopping. We have three major hospital chains, including a massive VA hospital.
Nice.
So, for veterans, really, really convenient. We have, I mentioned earlier, 20 golf courses. We also have very low taxes. Our sales tax is 6%.
Wow.
That's it, and that's on everything. And in fact, you can actually get a tax credit back for your taxes on groceries. So
Wow.
even though we have a sales tax on groceries, you get it back when you file your taxes. Our income tax caps out at 7%. So, I know that's a lot cheaper than California, especially when you start making a certain amount of money.
Right.
We also registering cars is anywhere from $45 to $80 a year, depending on the size and make of your car, but really affordable compared to
Wow.
California.
Right.
We have the cheapest electricity rates in the country. For whatever reason, we come in dead last every year on the prices. I have a family of five, husband and wife, realtors working exclusively from home, three kids, computers, TVs, iPads, the whole works.
Hmm.
And our average electric bill is $70 a month.
Wow.
So yeah, so that just goes to say,
That's
water
great.
is cheap. So we don't have droughts in Idaho. We have plenty of underground water. So sprinkling your lawns, um, there's no limits.
So
And
you
more
don't have to go
importantly,
to AstroTurf or something like that
nope,
to minimize your water usage.
or xeriscaping. Nope, none of
Right.
that here. Everybody has plush yards front and back. And the kicker is the irrigation water is usually cheap or free. So for example, usually it's included in your HOA dues if you have an HOA. So there's no extra charge. You're not paying for your watering of your grass. It's
Wow.
included. Yeah,
That's
it's a pretty
amazing.
good deal.
You
People
know,
get shocked.
yeah, that's crazy. You mentioned something that I thought was pretty interesting, and like that a lot of people, I think, in their mind, make it like a barrier to possibly moving to another state is like, well, I have the ocean here in Southern California. I can't get that in another state, or the weather's different, or whatever. But I live 10 minutes from the ocean, and I think if I go maybe once or twice a year. So
Sure.
it's not like I'm out in the water surfing every day, or like going to, we tend to stay in our little bubble around our local communities and
Sure.
almost never venture out. So are there any attractions or uniqueness of the area that you would encourage friends to come visit once they've relocated?
Yeah, so we have all kinds, we are an outdoor activities area. So if you like to be outdoor, we have every possible thing. We have incredible hundreds and hundreds of miles of maintained hiking trails in the foothills. We have hot springs all around us. We have a winery district where we have tons of vineyards, and it's like kind of like a mini Napa Valley. There's tons of tasting rooms, and you can actually take a tour of all the different wineries out there. We have skiing just 30 minutes away in the wintertime, and
Wow.
they have nighttime skiing, so you can actually go skiing in the evening, and it's really cheap compared to all the places like Lake Tahoe and stuff like that. We have a lot of water features, so we might not have the ocean, but we have the Snake River, which is a very
Got it.
famous river. So we have tons of fishing. You can go salmon fishing. We have hunting. This is one of the shooting capitals of America. If you like guns, and by that I mean like target shooting and hunting and
Right.
things like that,
Right.
Idaho's the place to come. We have shooting ranges everywhere. It's very accepted. So we have all kinds of stuff. Off-roading, mud bogging in certain times of the year. We have skydiving is a big deal here because we don't have a lot of tall buildings,
Right.
and the air is so clean. So there's just about any possible outdoor activity you can think of. We have an Olympic-sized swimming pool indoor here in Boise that if people really like to swim. There's tons of swimming pools, but we actually have an Olympic-sized one in case people want to do that. We have a very large YMCA apparatus with branches throughout the entire district. So there's indoor stuff there for kids that want that. We have a lot of martial arts, a lot of sports
Nice.
leagues. My kids play soccer, ballet. Um, I have a son that's in kung fu. I mean, basically, just about any type of activity or sport is easily accessible. But the most important thing we want to understand is that you're never more than 25 to 30 minutes max from anything.
Wow.
So there are no commutes here. This is a centralized area with a highway and a connector that runs through the middle of everything.
Hmm.
So you can be anywhere, including the airport. The airport is basically downtown.
Hmm.
So it's about a 15-minute drive to the airport from no matter where you live. So you're not having to leave 2 hours ahead of time to catch a plane. You leave
Wow.
45 minutes and you get on the plane. It's really convenient.
So it sounds like Boise is like a mix of like you can have urban, you can have all of those amenities that come along with living in a city, But also you can be, if you love the outdoors, you can pretty much live like in a rural setting and have all those leisure activities that come along with those things, like, hunting and, outdoor shooting ranges and things like that.
That's
So you get a
correct.
little bit of everything out there.
A little bit of everything, and you're not far. It's not a
Right.
whole day trip. You're not driving 2 hours to get to those activities. You're driving 20 minutes.
Right.
It really is really convenient, and it's cool because you can do several things in a day.
Right.
You don't have to commit your whole Saturday to one activity. You can go hiking in the morning, you can go biking in the afternoon, and then you can have an incredible dinner at one of the best restaurants in the state, downtown Boise, at night. It's all inclusive, and that's what
That's
makes
awesome.
living here so cool. And visiting, same thing. When people come here, they're always pleasantly surprised.
Right.
Um, a lot of my clients, Juan, unfortunately, have to buy their houses sight unseen, because
Right.
they're coming from California, and because the market's so quick, as you know, they don't have the luxury of coming here and taking their time. So basically, we do a lot of FaceTiming from the homes.
Mm,
They decide to make an offer.
right.
They win the house, and then they don't show up for a couple of months, and they finally get here, and everybody to a person can't believe it. They're like, oh my goodness, it's even better than we heard. We were wondering if it's too good to be true, because all our friends that have moved here said it's such a wonderful place. And when they finally get here, they're tickled pink because it's safe, it's clean. We don't have graffiti, we don't have homelessness issues, we
Mm,
don't have trash in the streets. We have probably I think I read somewhere, we have the lowest, what do you call it, drug use in the country. We're the third safest state in the country as far as crime. We have one of the highest church attendance rates in the country. So all of those things play into that fact that, it's just a very safe and clean place to live. Kids can be outside at all times. You don't have to be watching them. They can play outside. Kids still play in the streets with their neighbors. Kids go to the park on their own. Kids walk to school on their own. You don't worry about it. It's also a very pet friendly community.
right.
Everybody has dogs. We have tons of dog parks, tons of pet parks, and everybody loves animals here. So that's another
Nice.
benefit. Yeah,
Nice. Well, you know, let me ask you about kind of like the nuts and bolts, right? Because a lot of
sure.
people are leaving California, and most of the time they want to use their equity to buy something cash, that so that they don't have a mortgage payment out there if they can, right? So for someone that is like an entry level like home, what kind of house can they expect to get, and what price points are they in over there?
So I mean, our inventory is really minimal, just as your clients are aware of over there. So
Right.
you really have to have probably close to the 450,000 to 500,000 range for
Hmm.
entry level here. If you have that kind of money to play with, then you can usually get into some new construction. We have a pretty large spec uh, new construction industry here. So you can buy a new house starting at about $450,000, and that would get you a 4 bedroom, 2 bath, 3 car garage, or 2 car garage, maybe 3 car garage, depending on the area. Brand new house. And in Idaho, all new construction comes with a 1 year full home warranty. The
Wow.
builders have to fix anything that goes wrong that first year. So the reason I always encourage new construction for that price range to my California clients, and a
Hmm.
lot of times it's investments, by the way.
Oh,
A
really?
lot of my California clients don't want to move, but they want to make money here, so they'll take their money and they'll buy a house here to rent it out.
Nice.
And so that's the best of both worlds. So I recommend that because new construction here is the only place where there's no multiple offers.
Okay.
So our builders that are in that spec house product, they take the first offer that comes,
Okay.
so that it's not competitive. Now that's different from custom builders. If you're gonna have a custom home built, the issue right now is that they can't guarantee you a price at the time that you
Because of the
order the
lumber
house.
prices.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. So they'll give you a range, but they're not going to lock in a price until they're like 4 months in.
Got it.
But with the spec builders, the house is already there. We we always have several hundred at any time that are available,
Right.
anywhere from 400,000 to a million.
Got
And
it.
so 450 to 500 would be my recommendation for entry level type homes. But they're
But
beautiful and they're large,
right.
2,000
I mean, it
square
sounds
feet.
like entry level out there is a brand new house, like,
Yes,
at 4 to 500,000. Is that what I'm hearing?
yes, yes.
And then, yeah, of course, you can get anything above that. You can go into the
Sure.
millions if you really want to. But I mean, if you think about it, out here in Southern California, people are probably, especially if you're like a baby boomer, you've had your house for a long time, you're getting rid of your house that you had for, that you maybe raised a family in,
Mm.
and need some work, and you're still going to be selling that for like 800,000. Orange County, the average price point here for like a small 3 bedroom house, like 1,400 square feet, you're almost at $900,000, right?
Wow.
So if you've lived
Wow.
in your house for a very long time, then more than likely you have a lot of equity. And going to another state, like going to Idaho, then you probably will have money left over from the purchase of the
Yes.
house out there, if you're not going for like $1 million place, right?
We do get a lot of cluster. We do get some clients from California that just what you said, they have 900,000 or $1 million. So they'll come here and they'll buy two properties. They'll buy their house for the 500,000 or 600,000 range, and then they'll turn around and buy a $400,000 investment property at the same time. So they're able to get two houses for the price of one in California, and it's a pretty amazing thing because for 600,000, 700,000 here, now you're talking about 3,000 square feet, 3-car garage, 4 or 5 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, acre, half acre. So now
Nice.
you're talking about stuff that in California would be double that.
Oh yeah.
So it goes quickly when you hit the 600, 700, 800,000. What you get multiplies dramatically from 400,000 or 500,000. So it's pretty astounding for people coming from there. They can't believe it that they can get an acre here. And it's like,
That's unheard
really?
of out here. I don't.
Yeah.
I mean, unless you're, going in Southern California, like Orange County, if you're going to Eastvale or something, maybe you can get like a close to an acre, but 6,000 square foot lots are kind of the standard here. Um,
Wow.
Now, you mentioned something about investors, right? Some people are taking their equity, they're buying a house out there, and then they're using some of that money to buy an investment property, or they're just selling investments off in California, maybe doing a 1031 exchange, and then purchasing properties out there in Idaho, Boise area, or what have you. Now, the rental laws here in California are pretty strict, right? We have rental caps, we have,
Yes.
all of these other things that go along, with becoming a landlord here in Southern California. If somebody wanted to cash out their property in California and buy something in Idaho, what does that look like for like the rental environment out there, with in terms of the laws and all of that?
You're exactly right, Juan. That's what the biggest reason we hear all the time is that people are just cashing out of their investment properties in California. They're not planning to move themselves. They love the lifestyle, but they're cashing
Mhm.
out because of, the terms that they use are draconian, landlord tenant laws in California. So
Right.
they just don't want to deal with it anymore. So they sell their stuff there. We do a 1031 normally. That's usually the vehicle that's used, 1031
Hmm.
like kind exchange. And then here we either help them find single family homes, or we also have a lot of multifamily. I mean, we have duplexes all the time that pop up.
Mm.
So in Idaho, it's a much more landlord friendly state.
Hmm.
So I'll give you some examples. There's no restrictions in Idaho on using your property as a VRBO or Airbnb.
Okay.
So HOAs are not allowed to stop that. Municipalities are not allowed to stop that. The state legislature said, nope, if you're an owner of a home, you can do what you want. So that's one of the benefits. A lot of the California investors are not necessarily wanting to buy long-term rentals. They see the allure to short-term rentals here because if you're willing to rent your house out for 2 months to 6 months at a time,
Hmm.
you can get about 50 to 70% more rent than
Oh
if you do
wow.
a standard. Yeah, it's a huge because we have so many people that are building or people that move here, but their house isn't going to be ready for 8 months.
Hmm.
So they just need a short term rental. They don't
Got
need
it.
to rent. So it's a vibrant market here. We have a huge Airbnb market as well. So yeah, so coming here with the rental is much easier. Property management companies average anywhere from 8 to 10% a month
Mm-hmm.
is their fee, which is
Mm-hmm.
standard. And there's realtors do not do property management here, so it's a separate industry. Like I don't handle rentals,
Right.
property management companies do.
Mm-hmm.
And so yeah, so coming here, it's a pretty safe place. We don't have a transfer tax in Idaho, so when you sell property, there is no tax at the during the transfer like you do in California and other states. So it's just much cheaper. Property taxes are about 1%
Okay.
for investors, but if you move here and live in the home, you get $100,000 homeowner exemption.
Wow.
So yeah, so off the top. But if you're an investor, you pay full price, but it's still just about 1%.
So that's like
And
what you're saying is like someone buys a house for 500,000, the assessed value is $100,000 less of whatever they paid for it if you're living in
yeah,
it.
yes. And the even better news though, Juan. So here in Idaho, it's considered a non-disclosure state. We're one of
Mm-hmm.
only like 8. So sales prices are not disclosed to the government.
Oh wow.
So that yeah, nobody knows except the parties and the MLS, but
Got
it's
it.
not disclosed to the tax assessors. So assessed values are much lower than the market values here.
Right. Right.
The assessed values could be hundreds of $1,000s less.
Got
So
it.
you're only getting taxed on that assessed value. So you could very well buy a $600,000 house, but you're only paying the 1% on 250,000 from maybe the last time it was assessed. So your
Right.
taxes are really low here, and we don't have tax lightning in Idaho. So the most that the counties can raise taxes is 3% a year. So
Wow.
obviously, even if they did that and houses are going up 10 to 20% a year, there's not
Mhm.
keeping up. So there's
Right.
tons of advantages to home ownership in Idaho.
Nice.
It's amazing. Yeah. And so, Zillow doesn't work here very well because we don't disclose the prices. So when customers go to Zillow, you really need to talk to a realtor because the estimates
Interesting.
are way off in Idaho.
So what is
Literally.
just curious, what's the rental market like over there?
Rental market here is basically 0% vacancy. Everything goes right away. But you're looking anywhere from, for a 2 bedroom, 1 bath apartment, maybe 800, $900, to a single family home, 3 bedrooms, 2 bath, 2 car garage, anywhere from 1,500 to $2,500 a month, depending on your area. And then you
So
can have an executive home. If you want to rent a really nice home, $3,500 a month will get you a 3,000 square foot house type of
nice.
thing.
So if you're buying a rental or doing some sort of investment over there, it's 100% like it's going to be rented, right? It's not like you're not going to have any vacancy.
100%. And
Right.
you will have your pick of the litter. You'll have so many good applicants. You're not going to be renting to people that shouldn't be renting. All these people have good credit. They all have good jobs. They just don't make enough, unfortunately, to get approved to buy a home yet.
Right.
So you have good tenants, solid.
Nice.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, thank you, Isaac. I mean, this has been
Yes.
really, really good information. Anything else you want to add here at the end?
I just recommend, it's so easy and cheap. Southwest Airlines, Alaskan Airlines, we have direct flights to Long Beach, I believe what's the
Long,
cowboy, John
oh,
Wayne,
John
John
Wayne
Wayne
Airport, Orange
Airport.
County.
Yeah, and of course LAX. And so, people can fly in easily here. It's an easy trip. I recommend people take a weekend visit here. Prices are cheap to get here. Hotels are inexpensive. Take a look at what we have to offer because you'll definitely fall in love with it. And even if you don't plan to move yourself, buy an investment property and take advantage of this appreciation and have something there, because in the future you never know, you might decide
Right.
you do want to retire here or
Right.
have it as a second home. So that's all I recommend. And I'll give you the link to my relocation guide that has all the information about the area, especially regarding schools, medical facilities, those types of things that we didn't really talk about today.
Got it.
Will be in that guide. So
Okay.
thanks for having me on. I always appreciate you inviting me over.
Yeah. Thank you, Isaac. Thanks for taking the time.
Yeah.
I look forward to working with you here in the future again. And if you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out. We'll put our contact information down in the comments. Thank you again, Isaac, and I'll see you again on another video, man.